Captain Marvel. For a long period of time, two outsider races, the Kree and the Skrulls, have been in steady war with each other. Since the Kree are the eventually prevalent species due to their mechanical progressions, the Skrulls have been numbered down essentially, to the brink of termination. The Kree domain proceed to endeavor to wipe the Skrulls from the confront of the galaxy. In 1995, within the stature of the war, Ver dwells on Hala. She has steady bad dreams that frequent her, basically comprising of an flying machine crash on a remote promontory, and observing a lady being murdered before her by an obscure Skrull aggressor. She too recalls this as the most punctual memory of when she picked up her powers that permit her to shoot photon impacts out of her clenched hands. Ver presently trains with Yon-Rogg, pointing to become a part of Starforce. In spite of the fact that Yon-Rogg accepts she is prepared, the Supreme Insights, the fake insights that rules the Kree Empire, figures something else but in any case permits Ver on the group, which comprises of Minnesota Ervo, Korath, Bronchar, and Atlas. Yon-Rogg gives the Starforce a briefing, to protect a Kree agent named Solar. Yon-Rogg advises the group that Solar has been captured on the planet Torafa. Yon-Rogg instrument the group to perform an attack on the planet, so Vera and the rest of the Starforce arrive submerged and utilize their suits to reach the surface. Before long they realize that the Torfin locals are Skrulls, which the mission was entrap. Vera is snatched by Skrull Common Talos, camouflaged as Solar, whose spacecraft, whereas the rest of the Starforce withdraw. On the spacecraft, Talos picks up get to Vera recollections from different points in her life. Vera stirs Fair as Talos opens her recollections, uncovering that he needs data from her relating to a lightspeed motor. She coordinates and elude, with Talos, Norix and two other Skrulls in interest, crash landing to planet C-53, Earth. Ver and the Skrulls crash in Los Angeles. Whereas Talos and the Skrulls accept the part of surfers on a shoreline the following day, Ver crashes through the roof of a blockbuster video within the center of a shopping square. After a brief communication with Yon-Rogg, learning she will be stranded on Earth for another 22 hours, she draws in the consideration of S.H.I.E.L.D.
D. After a night move, Los Angeles Police Division officer reports her in.
Scratch Anger and Phil Coulson driven by Keller arrive at Los Angeles to examine Ver, expelling her Kree specialist and her claims that the Skrulls have arrived on Earth. The train is interrupted by one of the Skrulls. Ver gives chase to the Skrull on a subway train, but the Skrull sidesteps her and get away in the midst of a swarm at a train station. Fury, Coulson deliver chase to Ver. Fury realizes that Coulson was really deserted at the shopping complex, and the Coulson sitting traveler side another to him may be a moment Skrull faker. The two have a fight, and the Skrull is murdered when their car crashes into oncoming activity. Ver utilizes a Skrull gem containing her misplaced recollections and starts recalling them. She dresses in a civilian equip she stole from a show and takes a motorcycle to drive to Pancho's bar within the adjacent town of Rosamond. Wrath and Keller, who at this point has been compromised by Talos, take ownership of the expired Skrull, and whereas performing an post-mortem examination, Keller authorizes Anger to work with Ver, and inevitably hand her in S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury finds Ver at the bar, and presently completely persuaded that the Skrulls are a risk, the two address each other to guarantee that they are not Skrull imposters. Fury takes her to the Joint Dark Energy Mission facility in Nevada to affirm Ver claims of her roots on soil. She learns that she was a warrior pilot for the Joined Together States. Discuss drive nearby a fellow comrade, Maria Rambeau, both beneath the tutelage of Wendy Lawson for Project PEGASUS. Vera recognizes Lawson as the lady killed in her dreams and afterward learns from Yon-Rogg that she was a Kree named Marvel. Fury reports their area to Keller and a gang of agents driven by Keller arrive, counting Coulson. Upon realizing that Keller had been compromised by Talos the full time, Fury goes rogue with Vera. Coulson permits the two to escape. Motivated to see cancers from Rambo, Fury, and Ver, went with by Goose, a cat who they experienced at the facility, hijack a Quadjet to the Rambo home in New Orleans, Louisiana. Both Rambo and her daughter Monica are surprised to see Ver still lively. The two recognize Ver as Carol Danvers, a warrior pilot who was apparently murdered with Lawson in a test flight gone awry. They moreover identify Goose as Lawson and Danvers' pet. Talos and Norix arrive at the Rimbaud residence, as it were to negotiate a brief alliance after Talos reveals that he was in ownership of a dark box from the plane crash. Talos reveals that Danvers has been deceived by the Kree and that the Skrulls are simply homeless refugees constantly on the run from the Kree, on the brink of extinction. Upon hearing the recording from the black box, Danvers finally recollects the memory of what happened. The assassination was orchestrated by none other than Yon-Rogg, who had uncovered Marvel's deception. Marvel instructed Danvers to destroy the energy core powering the Lightspeed engine, but in an attempt to destroy it, Danvers gained cosmic abilities after absorbing the energy from the exploding engine. With no recollection of her memories, Yon-Rogg was authorized by the Supreme Intelligence to train her into becoming a Kree operative. Talos confides in Danvers that Marvel was actually a Kree double agent who was attempting to help the Skrulls by testing the Lightspeed engine, which can help them flee Kree occupation forever, and that the black box in Danvers' memories contained the coordinates to a former laboratory cloaked in Earth's orbit that Marvel had used, containing the last of the Skrull refugees as well as the energy core that powered the engine. The next day, Yon-Rogg arrives on Earth to confront Danvers. He quickly realizes that the Danvers he was communicating with was Norix, and swiftly executes him upon learning of the laboratory orbiting Earth, and learning that the source of the energy core is the Tesseract. Danvers, Fury, Talos, Maria, and Goose take the Quagga to the laboratory, and Talos is reunited with his wife and daughter. Danvers finds the Tesseract, but the Starforce ambush them and place Danvers under stasis to confront the Supreme Intelligence. In a final conversation with the Supreme Intelligence, Danvers removes the inhibitor that has been limiting her full power potential and engages in an all-out battle with the Starforce. Fury realizes that Goose is actually a Flurkin, and witnesses her abilities firsthand after she swallows the Tesseract and several Kree soldiers, echoing an earlier scene where Talos expressed fear of Flurkins and insisted that Goose was not a cat. In a battle for the Tesseract, Danvers overpowers Korath, Bronchar and Atlas while the Skrulls escape on the Quagga with Rumbo and Fury. In the process, Talos is shot by Yon-Rogg, rendering him inoperable to fight. In a rage, Yon-Rogg authorizes Ronan and the Accusers to dispatch Kree ballistic missiles at Earth to kill Danvers and the Skrulls. Danvers destroys the missiles in one of the Kree warships, prompting the Accusers to retreat. Minnesota Irva, the last operable Starforce member, intercepts the Gadget to the Mojave Desert, but Rambo shoots her down. Yon-Rogg arrives on Earth, and challenges Danvers to a duel, but she instantly incapacitates him with a photon blast, and sends him back to Hala with a warning for the Supreme Intelligence, declaring war. In the aftermath, Goose claws and blinds Fury's left eye while his guard is down. The Skrulls take temporary shelter at the Rambo residence, where Talos begins to recover from his injuries. Before Danvers departs Earth with the Skrulls to find them a new home, she hands Fury a modified transmitter pager to call her in the event of an emergency. While drafting the Protector Initiative, Fury, upon learning that Danvers' call sign was Avenger during her time in the Air Force, renames it to the Avengers Initiative in her honor.